Alright, first and foremost, I want to give all honors and praises and glory belongs to my Lord and Savior. His name is Yahweh by Sham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Waharakar Kwadash. The name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh. His Son's name is Yahawashi, in who I reverence and honors to the apostles that are in the Holy Spirit and to the hopeful elect across the globe, and to the very few brothers and sisters that are listening and also learning in the hopes of being saved within these last days. And this lesson is going to go into the balance, right? You do know, I don't want when people think of prophets and so forth, they think about, oh, he's floating in the sky, he doesn't make no mistakes, he's just 100% perfect. You do know we live regular lives like the other people do. You do know that, right? You do know I like cooking. You do know I like, from time to time, singing. I like singing as well. I like doing normal things. So I just want brothers and sisters to know that we're not floating on the clouds. The prophets, yeah, they had a different calling from the world, but they like food. King David liked to play the harp. Okay. So we're gonna go straight to, excuse me just a minute. This is Ecclesiastes 37 and 27. Baba Kashar, Baba Kashar, Baba Kashar. My son, prove thy soul in thy life and see what is evil for it. And this ain't going to be a long lesson. It says, prove thy soul to see what is good and evil. That's called, what they call it, trial and error. Right? So you're trying out different things. Okay? That didn't work. That worked. That helped. That didn't help concerning the truth. And see what is evil for it. And give not that unto it. So if something's evil for your spirit and it's not helping, you don't give your spirit unto it. Whatever that may be. For all things are not profitable for all men. Right? Neither have so in every pleasure in everything. So according to one man might be able to eat, what's it? A triple cheeseburger with fries, with Nando sauce, and he's still fine. He can still operate fine. It's like he's still got his mental clarity, everything. Don't ask me how. That brother, he can do it. Right? That's why it says not all things are profitable to all men. Then another brother, he might try to say, he's eating a triple cheeseburger with extra fries and Nando sauce. Let me try and do that and see if I could still operate the same way within this truth. And that may not work with you. You may feel lethargic. That's why it says prove thy soul and prove what is evil for it and give not that unto it. Okay? Another brother may be able to work out 5 days a week, deadlifts, all that. You may not be able to do that because it pressures your body. Your body can't deal with that. Somebody else may be able to do it, right? And it says, and be not unsatiable in any dainty thing, nor greedy upon meats. So that also goes for us as well. Be not unsatiable. And that's what I'm learning. I'm not going to lie, I kind of got into that habit again of eating dainty foods, dainty meats, right? I kind of got into that habit. Be not dainty upon meats, right? And the meats used to be a delicacy. Okay, yes, all right. Meats are a delicacy, like in the ancient world, right? That's what they are, delicacy. So back in the ancient days, you would just eat meat once or 2 times a week. Even in the Victorian age, right? There was a massive, what's it? Great Mastiff. But even that's a test. The Lord Yahawashi will even send that. You should see the size of this dog. When it stands up, it's about six foot tall. Even that's a test for me. I just want to stay on topic, but the Lord does that as well. Sends little tests. Are you gonna panic? Are you gonna? That's why the individual said it's all right. See, even throughout the day, there's little tests to see how are you gonna react. The dog. I feel, what's it called? Bull Mastiffs, right? Which really, I'm not really scared of dogs. All right. Depends on how they're acting. Maybe just a minute. But it says, for not proper that every man have soul, and have every soul pleasure in everything. Some of you like music. Bro, I love music. Before waking up to the truth, guess what got me through a lot of my heartache? It was music. You know, before the truth. It was music that got me. Bro, most of my family are musicians. Mother played the guitar, bass guitar. My grandma, she was actually in the industry, but guess what? She got blackballed. Esau knows who my family is. He knows my line. I had a grandma. She was in the music industry, but she got what? Blackballed. Right? So my family are musicians. Even on my father's side. Right? Which, that's not as far. We can go as far as that. We're talented. So yeah, do these things on the side. Listen to your little bit of music. Do these things on the side, but always keep Yahawashi first. Yahawashi loves music. He's the author of music. Sound. Bro, I love music. Right? I love a bit of Roy Ayers. Nothing's wrong with listening to a bit of Roy Ayers. Right? I love a bit of Jamiroquai. Right? Okay. And so forth. This truth is about balance. Not having a... I never forget what someone said to me. You can't just always be hard-faced like Terminator. Right? You got to find that balance. And be not unsatiable any dainty thing nor greedy upon meats. Right? You may be a brother that likes eating beef, maybe chicken every other day. Sometimes switch it up and get some mackerel, right? Or get some tuna, or get some salmon. Or even stop, you may even stop eating meats, because a lot of the prophets, I think it was Daniel, he refused to eat the king's meat, right? Even though it was given to him, he refused to eat it. He rather would, he commanded what? Pulse and greens. And therefore more revelations were given to him as well. So even when you cut down on particular foods, Yahawashi even deals with you on a higher level as well. So even Yahawashi, yes, he does deal with how our mindsets are as well. I need to slow down. I think maybe just a minute. So lucky if I'm talking to, I need to slow. Sometimes I think I talk too fast. Let me just slow down. For excess of meats bringeth sickness. Excessive, not meats. Excuse me just a minute. Burning some incense. Right? What I had to learn in this truth, I hope I don't sound like the black unconscious community. Right, excuse me just a minute. Let me just put this in. Yeah. Bear me just a minute. I'm burning some incense. Even that. Zacharias, John the Baptist's father. What was he known for? He was a minister. He was a priest. What was his lot? To burn incense within the temple. It tells you that in Luke, I think his first chapter. That was his lot. To burn incense. To offer up sacrifices to the Yahawashi. So even that. You might even do that. You may have a thing of, when you're not doing the work, when you get back from work, you may burn some incense to Yahawashi. Every brother has their different balance, but it's about knowing who you are. I can't tell you, I can't say, you do this, you do that. You have to know. And it's not an easy thing. Bruce Lee said, it's easy to be cocky, arrogant. One hard thing is to truly, what's hard to do is truly express yourself. It's very hard to do, but once you do that, and that's what martial arts is the true reflection. Because our art is a reflection of you. When even in painting, our art is a reflection of what you're thinking. Right? And if for excess of meats bringeth sickness, and surfeiting turn into choler. Choler is disease. Right? That's what it turns into. Choler. Stomach pains. diseases. And you may have family members, you may tell them, look, you're eating this and that wrong. After a while, stop doing that. You tell them they don't listen, stop doing it. Because they're not listening. And the first thing, remember, they're very pessimistic. So the first thing they say, well, you're not a doctor. So after you've told them, leave them alone. But we are doctors. See, we're more than prophets. We're doctors. We deal with all types of different things in this truth. We're around it. Because it brings, much surfeiting brings clola. You look up clola, it's bile problems. Your bile is your cells. And I want to put another thing as well. Even take a break from these social media platforms. Take a break from that. Take a break from these gadgets. There's a reason why they call it. Why do they call it a cell phone? Why do they call it a cell phone? Because these things, Esau, what he went and done, he went and weaponized these mobile devices. So now these cell phones, what does it destroy? Your cells. Right? Esau has something called cell towers. Why does he call it a cell tower? And what do these cell towers do? These 5G, 3G, they destroy your cells slowly. That's why we want to have knowledge in everything, right? To the best of our ability. So even take a break with the social media. Obviously we need to upload and do this and do that, but try to even take a break from that. Truth is about balance. And surfeiting will turn into clola, right? And that's what's it? Brownness, yellowness. If your doo-doo's coming out, excuse my language, if your doo-doo's coming out yellow, then you have a blood problem. The sickness is coming on. Okay. By surfeiting, many have perished, but he that taketh heed prolongeth his life. So even with eating, we even got a dietary law. There's a reason why we have a dietary law. There's a reason why we have a dietary law. So we don't get sick. And we have particular foods that we eat. Okay. So now we went to that Baba Kashar. This ain't going to be a long one. Balance your time out. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 3. Because we weren't coming to this truth just to be hermits. And, alright, we learned this truth. Don't do nothing now. Just be a hermit. No. We still have to operate within this world. Go to Ecclesiastes, Baba Kashar. We still have to operate. We still have to do things. Ecclesiastes 1 and... Actually, it's 7. And 16. Be not righteous over much. Right? And this is... when I first woke up to the truth, that's how I was going on, because I didn't understand the balance. And that's why brothers were looking certain brothers were looking at me a certain way, because I didn't have that balance. Right? Be not righteous over much. Right? You don't want to be in that spirit. Why are you going? Hold on a minute. Neither make thyself otherwise. Why should I destroy thyself? In other words, you're looking at a brother. Why are you going to the restaurant? Huh? Why are you listening to music? You know music can put demons on you. Yeah, we know that. But guess what? We balance our time. Right? We balance our time. Right? Why are you sitting with that woman? From the beginning of her came sin. Yeah, alright. We see, balance, we know that. But a woman says, the scriptures also says, there's nothing that pleases a man, cheers the countenance of a man. There's nothing that, paraphrasing, that pleases a man than the beautiful countenance of a woman cheers a man up. So even time you may even need that. See, there's balance for every individual. But I can't look at every member of the elect and say, well, you do this and you don't do that. Be not righteous over much, lest thou should destroy thyself. You also in this truth, you need outlets. Yes, you need outlets, because if you don't have outlets, you turn yourself mad. Right? Or you boxing, why are you going to the gym for? You're vain. The scripture says the bodily exercise profiteth little, but it's still profitive. So there's balance. Okay. Be not over much wicked. And this is concerning going off. So this shows you, in this truth, there's particular wicked things you're going to do. Not intentionally, but this particular wicked, you may do wicked things, have wicked thoughts. It says, be not over much wicked. These are warnings, okay? Neither be thou foolish. Why should that die before that time? Because the people that are very wicked within this sight and very foolish, they end up dying before that time. Okay? And it says, it is good that thou shouldest take hold of risk, yea, also from risk withdraw not thine hand. You see? You take heed to these sayings, but don't withdraw thy hand from everything. I'm in the truth now. I've heard men tell me this. I'm in the truth, so I can't really you can't really enjoy. You don't have that's rubbish. I've had men say that this truth, since I've been in this truth, I haven't really progressed. No, we progress in the truth, but not in the world. So now you're not gonna so much progress in the world, but you're gonna progress in the truth, right? The truth it doesn't stop you from receiving joy. It doesn't stop you, right? People look at the law as a bad thing. The law is not a bad thing. The law is a limitation, but the limitations are there. So what? We stay in check. Okay, so we don't transgress. So we have them barriers. For he feareth the Most High shall come forth of them all. Wisdom strengtheneth the wise more than 10 mighty men which are in the city. So that's what really wisdom is strength, and applying the wisdom in the right way, in the right manner, in the right time, in the right place. Okay, let me check the time. Yeah, still got a bit of time. Yeah. It's about applying it, right, with the right measure, and still focusing on Yahawashi. What did Solomon say? He held fast to all these things. He had the maidens, he had the servants. He experienced laughter, he experienced joy. He experienced all these things. But guess what? He still held hold. His wisdom still remained with him. Yeah, it still remains with Yahawashi. It never left him. Okay. So now we went to that Baba Kashaba because there was something I was looking for in Corinthians. I couldn't find it. So would you bear me just a minute? Baba Kasha, Baba Kasha, Baba Kasha. Right? Excuse me, just a minute. Minute. No, it's somewhere in Corinthians where it says where was it?
Merlin.
Merlin.
He's very friendly.
Right.
Merlin, come away. Come on.
Yeah, I noticed. Merlin. So let me see where I can find it. Where is it? I can't find it. Where is it? Man, we're going to go to Romans. And that's why it's also good to study as well. Because a lot of the times, forget where certain scriptures are. All things are lawful, but not all things are expedient, but not lawful unto me. I'm paraphrasing. Right? Hold on. See if I can find it. Still can't find it. So we move on to something else, seeing we can't find it. Let's go to Romans, see if we can find it there. Romans 16. right? So yeah, there's certain brothers that can do particular things within this faith, right? They can do particular things within this faith, and they are still profitable, excuse me, to the ministry, right? Romans 13 and actually start at 14. Him that is weak in the faith receive not to this him that is weak in the faith receive ye, but not to doubtful disputations, that back and forth. Oh, you may be able to do this, so don't do this, don't do this. For one believeth that he may eat all things, right? The brothers just came into the truth, and he may be weak in the faith, or sister. You're putting extra burdens upon them. But one believeth that he may eat all things, right? That are lawful, by the way. Another who is weak eateth herbs. You got some brothers, they can eat all types of different foods, but their body structure is somewhat just different than yours. Okay. Another who is weak eateth herbs, and you got another that may be weak in the faith. He eats herbs, or he may have a particular body ailment, so he's eating a lot of herbs. Okay. Let not him that eateth despise of him that eateth not. Right? Let not him which eateth not judge him that eateth, for the Most High receiveth him. This is basically going into casting judgment on things that you're doing yourself, or you may be doing it just a different way. Okay. And it says, for the Most High receiveth him. Oh, this brother, he's always eating pita bread. I haven't had that in a long time as well. Just the pita bread, vegetables, and that is good for you. It is good for you. It slims you down. You know, just the pita bread. In I don't know what they call it in America. They call it tortilla, right? With some veg, right? You're looking at a brother. Oh, he's just eating that. What's wrong with him? Why aren't you eating meat, right? And the brother that's eating that, he can't look at the brother that's eating the meat and say, well, he's just eating chicken, and you can't do that. Well, you can, because obviously we give each other advice, but again, different brothers, you have 12 tribes, and they all operate different, right? And it says, Baba Kasha, for the Most I have received him. Who art thou that judgest another man's servant? To his own master. The Lord has received him, his offering. Who art thou that judgest another man's servant? Right? To his own master he standeth or falleth. You up here trying to judge this man's servant. Sure. Okay. Yeah, he shall be holding up, for the Most High is able to make him stand. Yahawashi is able to make this man stand. Well, yeah, he said, well, he eats too much. But is he doing the work? Is he still operating in the spirit of Yahawashi? Is he still being profitable? Yeah, he to his own master, yeah, he standeth or he falleth, yeah, he should be holding up, because it's Yahawashi that upholds his elect, right? And let not him which eateth not judge him that eateth not. Hold on a minute. For the Most High is able to make him stand. For one man esteemeth one day above another, right? And a man may be looking at you, well, how comes he ain't doing as much hours as we? Because he doesn't have to. Some brothers may come from a slightly better off background, where they have more help, where they have more people around them. Okay, doesn't make him evil. It doesn't make him complacent, right? Especially if he's diligent in this work. One man esteemeth one day above another, right? So it says one man esteemeth one day above another. So esteemeth one day above another is more important. One day is more important. He has to get more done within these particular days. He needs to get more done in these particular days, right? That's why it says he esteemeth every day and one day above another, and another esteemeth every day alike. Every day alike. So one man may be in his truth. He goes about his day doing the work, but he's still regimented in the way he's doing it. But the way he does it is very regimented. Kind of the same thing. changing pattern here, but it's the same thing. That's the way this man does it. You can't look at this man. Oh, what's he doing in his spare time? Doesn't he earn money? No, brother's got their side hustles. Don't worry about that. As long as he's doing the work. Because you have men like that will get jealous because they might not have as much free time as another man may have. That's not that man's fault. And with that man's free time, you can't really get mad at him if he's putting Yahawashi first. Just like you may not have as much free time, but as long as you're still doing the work, that's all that matters. Okay? And it says, one man esteemeth one day above another. Right? Another esteemeth every day alike. Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. That's the conclusion. Let every man be fully persuaded in their own mind. Every man. So what does it really come down to? You're persuaded Yahawashi is the Son of the Most High. You're persuaded. So if you believe in it, you're going to have that faith and you're going to move accordingly into the measure that Yahawashi has given you. Verse 6, he that regardeth the day regardeth it unto the Lord. Right? You scoping this man out. Oh, how comes he ain't doing what I'm doing? How comes he ain't following my regimen? The scripture says, he that regardeth the day regardeth it unto the Lord. He's having respect unto the Lord. So obviously he's thinking about Yahawashi. And he that regardeth not the day to the Lord, he doth not regard it. Okay. So look, and he that regardeth not the day to the Lord, he doth not regard it. He eateth, and he that eateth to the Lord, for he giveth the Most High thanks. It's all to the praises and the honors of Yahawashi. Right? It's all to the same thing. Okay? For he giveth the Most High thanks, even when you're eating. And the scriptures talk about anything that's not done in faith, it is classed as sin. So everything we do is according to faith. And he that eateth not to the Lord Yahawashi, he eateth not and giveth the Most High thanks. For none of us liveth to himself. We're not living to ourselves. We're living to Yahawashi. Right? And it's beautiful how the atmosphere works, how Yahawashi works. You had Esau's spraying his chemtrails in the triangular basis, triangular form. Most of these chemtrails are gone. Right? Thick clouds are coming. See, there's a way how even the world works. Right? Because even the earth, even the atmosphere has its own defensive mechanism. For none of us live to himself, and no man dieth to himself. For whether we live unto the Lord Yahawashi. Okay? And whether we die unto the Lord Yahawashi. Whether we live therefore or die, we are the Lord's. For to this end Mashiach both died and rose and revived. And that he might be Lord both of the dead and the living. But why does that judge thy brother? It doesn't mean you can't. This is going into what the unmerciful, ungrateful, just unbalanced judgment, right? Because of course we judge our brothers according to the scriptures, right? But why does thou judge thy brother? Key thing. Okay? Or does thou set a note at thy brother? For we shall all stand before the Lord, before the judgment seat of Mashiach, right? For it is written, as I live, saith the Lord, every knee should bow and every tongue shall confess. So yes, every knee gonna bow to Yahawashi, and yes, every tongue is going to confess that Yahawashi is Lord of Lords, Kings of Kings. So within this truth, there's a balance. And I forgot to bring up Proverbs 11. The scripture says, a false balance is an abomination. So even within this truth, the Lord delights in a just measure, a just way, and just balances. And part of just balances is really knowing ourselves and knowing what works and what don't really work for us. Okay, that's having that balance. Alright, so with this lesson, I really hope this was edifying. Went on a bit of a tangent, but Lord willing, this was edifying. And until the next time, shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom.